gotta lock in. You gotta lock in. The equipment's not set up because we didn't expect to get news, but we got the news, so I'm gonna bring it to you. Didn't expect to get the news, but we here and we locked in. Thank you guys for joining me here on the Mob Files. The moment we've been anticipating. I thought it was gonna take longer. I thought we were gonna be waiting a minute. I thought maybe they would wait until the Seattle coaches was done. I thought they would wait until Seattle was done, maybe. I thought maybe it would take longer just because it's a tough decision. I was wrong. The jury done came back early. My cup of Joe. My cup of Joe. Man, I gotta get this light right early in the morning, so my ISO. Usually I'm doing night shows. All right, let's get it. So I am here midday. I don't even know what time it is. It's 11:30 Central Standard Time. And I just got the news. That the Buffalo Bills has selected a new head coach. So I'm here with the mob on the Mob Files, telling you about the new selection of Joe Brady as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Really, I didn't even know that this was a real thing, and I still haven't confirmed it, but I wanted to get online. I'm kind of excited, if I'm being honest. Um, w- it's shocking to say the least. I think honestly, at the end of the day, I was expecting it to be Brian Dable, like many people. I thought Brian Dable would bring, so much history with Josh Allen, bringing him out from being a wild gunslinger to an MVP candidate. Um, I think nobody can take more credit for. Yeah, I see you, Rob. Nobody could take more credit for Josh Allen ascendance than Brian Dable. So I thought Dable would get the first crack at the apple, and then he would kind of shape that offense. I didn't expect Joe Brady being the next head coach, being so young, being frankly in the head coaching circles, being so inexperienced. I expected it to fully be Brian Dable, but I was wrong. And Joe Brady, the Buffalo Bills select Joe Brady as the next head coach of the Buffalo Bills. How do I feel about this? Let's get into it. I think we need a good defensive coordinator. I think we need a veteran defense. When it comes to the offense, when I heard Joe Brady talk, I like the way he articulated himself. I think he's a great communicator. I think I think he can lead men. I think he has the leadership capabilities. My man Rob is not happy about it at all. Rob, that's crazy, man. Yo, come on in, man. If you got something to say, come on in, man. Join your boy out here. I know you ain't happy about it. I think he got the leadership. He's able to communicate. He's got the intangibles that the Bills are looking for. I just didn't expect it to be Joe Brady just because of the inexperience, right? We had problems getting the ball passing, scheming people open, things of this nature. But who knows? Will Joe Brady bring in an offensive coordinator? Maybe Brian Dable comes in as the offensive coordinator. And then is Joe Brady, Brian Dable, offensive coordinator, a veteran head defensive coach. And then we're looking at a situation that all of you could be proud of. I'm happy that the Bills have selected a coach. I didn't want it to drag out, so we didn't know who it is. Now, you know, Joe Brady can go in and the dust can start to settle after all of the hoopla and figure out what his plan is going to be in terms of, the offseason program, things of that nature. I do think Josh was heavily involved in his selection. I think when it came down to it, they probably asked, "Hey, who do you want, Brian Dable or Joe Brady?" And I think Josh was heavy in his selection of Joe Brady. And then maybe the Bills didn't want to bring a retread head coach in uh like Brian Dable, with the sideline antics, things of that nature. Maybe they wanted somebody who will be new per se to the national media on the sidelines as a head coach. There's different angles you can take on why Joe Brady was selected. I kind of like it. It wasn't my first choice. I would probably, list Dable my first choice, Clint Kubiak, then Joe Brady as my second choice, but the Bills made their selection, and we're gonna have to live with it. Joe Brady, the new head coach of the Buffalo Bills. That sounds wild to me. That is wild, but we got a new head coach, young guy, very young guy. I don't even know how old is Joe Brady. I'm gonna say he's no older than about 36. Um, I'm gonna look it up for you guys right now. Joe Brady, Buffalo Bills age. I think he's no older than 36 um years old. Um he's 36. I hit the nail on the head. September 23rd, 1989. So very young coach. He's younger than some of the veteran players we see in the NFL nowadays. My man Rob in the comments, he's like he's going mad. Just wait till the Super Bowl hire till for the Super Bowl to hire Kubiak. No, I get that, man. I get that. 2 weeks is a long time, though, man. 2 weeks is a long time. 2 weeks is a long time to get an interview, and these other head coaches are on the market. Joe Brady done have multiple conversations with multiple different teams. You don't know what these other teams, are selecting. You can't put Joe Brady on the shelf hoping nobody picks him up and hires him, and you're waiting on Kubiak. And if Kubiak, then you want to go back to Joe Brady, which puts us down a month down the line. Sometimes you got to pull the trigger and say, hey, if Kubiak's not available, we're going to go with Joe. And I think the Bills was in a position to where they couldn't wait for Clint Kubiak that long until after the Super Bowl, which is another 2 weeks or so. Um, the Bills, he has to be the Bills' youngest head coach in a very long time. He might be the youngest head coach in Buffalo Bills history. And let me look that up. Is Let me see. Youngest head coach in Buffalo Bills history. It has to be Joe Brady. Or at least in my lifetime, I only knew one coach. It was Mar Levy, and then there was a bunch of other guys who all were on like a year, 2 year contracts. Uh, yeah. So actually, Joe Colliner was 33 years old, and he served from 1966 to 1968. Was the Bills' youngest head coach, so he's the second youngest head coach at 36, I would assume. But Joe Collar was the Bills' youngest head coach at 33. My man Rob saying that he thought Pagula wanted a new voice. Yeah, well, it depends. It depends. I think you can rebrand Joe Brady as a new voice in a situation as in a head coach, the man who's laying down the law. Joe Brady was the coach, was the voice in the offensive room, sure, but I think his voice, McDermott's voice, was the most dominant voice there was. So it's kind of wild, man. I kind of like it. At the end of the day, when you start to think about it, man, and sit back, take the emotions out of it, Rob. I know that Joe Brady isn't your number one choice, but when you take the emotions out of it, I think that I think that this might be a good thing. Let's promote Bean. Let me throw some Rob comments up here, man. Let's promote Bean and then let's promote Joe Brady. Yep, that's new enough. That's comedy right there, right? Like promote Bean, Joe Brady, that's new enough. I think, yo, when Jerry Hughes was on there talking on the timeline on X talking about 13 seconds. I think it was just about Sean McDermott, man. Sean McDermott got a little old. Like I think Terry knew that he reached the pinnacle with Sean McDermott. It wasn't about new, it was more so about change. And I think the change that we get with Joe Brady might be good enough. We better pray we just running offense. We running offense. McDermott wanted, or we fucked and about to waste another 3 years with Josh. Yeah, Rob going in. Yo, where you at, Rob? Why don't you come on, man? You got the link, my guy. Join us, man. I can't keep putting your comments up here. I get it. You frustrated, man. Come and tell the people why you mad, man. Waiting for my man Rob tripping. You probably working like most of us. A little bit of quiet as kept. I supposed to be working, but I got a little time and I had to jump on here for my Mod File fans and get you guys the latest and greatest. So you don't have to rely on your traditional news. And I got a bad situation going on. So if my articulation is off, please excuse me. I have a toothache. Joe Brady, man. New head coach. I like it, man. I like the fact that it's a young guy, high energy, very known to have a bit of an edge to him. I think he do need some more. His offense needs to evolve a little bit. I think his offense was relying on a short screen game, the 5 yard, 7 yard passes. I think he needs to develop his offense a little bit more. I want to see him hire none other than Brian Dable as offensive coordinator. I think it's possible. If Brian Dable doesn't get hired as a head coach, I can see him coming in to coach Josh Allen as the offensive coordinator, which will be great to me if you ask me. Boys on the Mod Files. Let's let's see what the news is out here, man. On the timeline. Oh, there he is. My man, my man Rob. My man Rob is here on the Mod File. What up?
Oh my God. Yo, shout
Wow.
out. Yo, shout out to the Bob Files, man. I'm supposed to be working like you said, you too, man. Yo, shout out to the Bob Files. Greetings from Nickel City Crew. I love my boy Sheed. He's like a brother from another Bill's mother, man. Listen, this shit is bananas. This is bananas. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yo, okay. Bob Files fans, listen to this. Listen to this. Terry Pagula comes out and says, you know what? We hit the proverbial playoff wall. We need, let me open up this because y'all can't really see me. Listen, I'm bunkered down. Listen, Terry Pagula says, yo, listen. Terry Pagula says, we need a new voice. We've hit the proverbial playoff wall. You know what would be a good idea? Let's give Randy B more responsibility. Let's give him a promotion because he's earned it and he's my guy. I trust him. Okay, no problem. Everybody's sick of McDermott. The real ones like me and she, we've been done with McDermott since 13 seconds, so we already know Terry was late catching up. Okay, no problem. You want to keep being a lot of the picks that he made were to acquiesce to Sean McDermott and to give him the players that he needed on defense and things like that. Okay, you want to excuse that away? No problem. Now we're gonna run a search. We're gonna interview 9 candidates. Okay, we're going to take an exhaustive approach. What it being said that this is going to be wide open. Don't matter about history. Doesn't matter how long they've called plays and all this other stuff. Offense, defense, don't matter. We're going to have an exhaustive approach. Okay, I can get with you on that. We're going to culminate this thing by taking Sean McDermott's nameplate off of the door for the head coach office, and we're going to plaster Joe Brady's name on that shit. What kind of silly shit is this? She, come on, man.
How did you hear about it, and what's your thoughts, man? How did you hear about the Joe Brady news, and
I just
what did
gave you
you?
my thoughts. I mean, I think that
Yeah,
it's lunacy. I think it's
yeah,
lunacy. I was on
yeah,
Twitter and then they said it and I had to make sure that it was real and then I turned on WGR and they were saying that it was real. So that's it. I just think it's lazy. I really do. I'm sorry. And I know
it's
that I heard
lazy.
you said that you like Joe Brady and stuff like that. Listen,
Yeah,
my only hope now is that I heard, those spaces that you and I are on a lot of times with Whittle and them boys the other night, got into an argument with my man Tone, who was on the show. He was on Nickel City Crew once, and he said that everything, everything that they were doing on offense was what McDermott wanted. So that has to be true now. Now we have to pray that that was true, that this run heavy approach, these tunnel screens, all of this type of stuff, limiting Josh Allen's exposure, which you're paying $250 million to a quarterback. Why are you trying to cut his legs out from under him? Um, Whatever. You want to limit mistakes. You want to limit him from doing some dumb shit like he did against Denver, things like that. Okay, now we are the number one rushing offense in the league, and what do we have to show for it? What do we have to show for it? Now, I understand we got to the divisional round. I understand we had injuries on defense and things like that. I'm disappointed because I did want offense. I was going to crash out for real if it was defense. So I'm happy that it's still offense. But man, this seems like it's just like you're just taking off the nameplate and putting Joe. Like, what change are we get? Like, what change are we getting? We have to literally now pray, Sheed, that he was running McDermott's offense. If he was, then fine, egg on my face.
yeah,
And I'm and obviously now he's our head coach. I'm hoping that this is right, just like all of Bills
yeah.
Mafia. We hope that it works out. I mean, we have no choice, as you said earlier. But I'm a little bit skeptical, to say the least. I'm a little bit skeptical.
To say the least. Yeah, I do think, man, I like his energy. I like Joe Brady's energy. I like his personality. When I listen to him doing his press conference, he's very articulate. I do think he can be a leader of men. I do think his to your point, his offense needs to evolve, man. Those screen game, it didn't look like it was very much a complicated offense at all. Seems very
Mm-mm.
like he didn't utilize Khalil Shakir enough. He didn't utilize Dalton Kincaid enough. He didn't involve scheme open the wide receivers based on his strength. I get all that,
Yep.
man. I just think
Yep.
I pray that he brings in a veteran defense coordinator. And who knows, man?
They need it now.
I did mention maybe Brian Dable comes be the offensive coordinator. What do you think
No, he's
about that?
not working under Joe Brady.
Why
He's
not?
not working under Joe. They already said he's going to Tennessee. He's not sticking
Oh,
around for this bullshit. No, no. Mm-mm. He
he
thought he
said this
was more
bullshit.
qualified than him. How am I going to work under you if I think I can do your job? That don't work.
Jeez, jeez,
Come on,
jeez,
man. That don't work in any
jeez.
industry. I think I can do your job, and then
It
they go
depends on the
and I'm gonna
money.
work under you. No,
It depends on
no,
the money. It depends on the money.
no. He going to Tennessee, man. He told him to kick rocks. No problem.
So
I would
7
too
years
if I
ago,
was Dable.
man, or excuse me, 9 years ago, when they introduced Sean McDermott, what was your thoughts then?
No, I had no clue. I didn't know him. I had no clue.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know him. And that's a great point. That's a great point. That was the point that I always used to say to people that were upset after we fired McDermott and they were moving in fear. And
yeah.
I always would tell my audience, you can't move in fear, because if you move in fear, then nothing will work. So I didn't know that McDermott was going to work out to the level that he did, and that's the same with this hire. So you're absolutely right; it could work. I'm praying that he was running McDermott's offense, because if he wasn't, I don't want to see. I mean, he'll last 3 years, and then that's another 3 years of Josh down the drain. Those,
Yeah,
like you said, the tunnel screens. Shakir, just all he does is at the line of scrimmage. Nothing
yeah,
outside of that. He could be maybe a lesser version of a JSN or a lesser version of a Amon Ross St. Brown, but they don't use him that way. So Brady's offense was predictable. Yes, they were number one in the rushing attack, but I mean, we have Josh Allen as our quarterback. I don't need to be the number one rushing offense when I have Josh Allen. And I knew that that was what Dable was going to bring back. Was that vertical passing game, shots down the field, going for the juggler, different things like that. So we'll see. We are about to find out together, brother. We are about to find out. But I just had to hop on here real quick and
yeah.
mess with you because you said you're excited, and I am. I'm scared as hell. I'm
I'm ready
scared.
for a new bro. Irrespective
How
of
new
what
is
we
it?
thought about Joe Brady, I'm ready for a new. I'm ready for a change, man. I think it's a fresh. I get
How
it.
much? How fresh can it be? He worked
Yeah,
under him.
right, right, right. But it's his show now. It's different. It's different. I get
Yeah,
what you're saying. From a fan perspective, from the fans' perspective, it's like, damn, man, you just hired a guy. But I think that Joe Brady, I'm optimistic to say to put it best. You know, I mean, it's kind of like when you get a new president, whether you like him or not. You gotta, hey man, he's the man in charge. Ain't nothing I can do. I gotta root for him. You know what I mean? I mean, not saying that I'm rooting for Trump or anything like that,
and
but
I understand what you're saying.
for
I
the
know what you're
sake
saying.
of the Buffalo Bills, I hope Joe Brady do well. You know
No,
what I
I hope
mean?
he does well as well. I hope
Mhm.
he's successful. Hope he takes us to the promised land. And quiet as kept. This is on Josh too. I mean, I know that we
Yeah,
don't like to say it and stuff like this, but what did they say? He was in on all the meetings. He met with all these different candidates. This is
yeah.
what Josh wanted as well. So let's not let Josh off the hook with this one. This is his head coaching hire. He had an opportunity to voice his opinion. He gave it, and they went with somebody that he agreed with because there's no way that they're hiring somebody he doesn't agree with. So let's not let that get lost on us. This is what Josh wanted. So um, it's time for everybody to put their big boy pants on and make something shake. It's time to
How do
make
you
something shake.
think? What do you think the differentiator was, or the deciding factor was that made them go with Joe Brady versus Brian Dable?
I think some of the stuff that you talked about, the temperament,
Yeah.
different things like that, I think that might have scared them a little bit. It didn't scare me. I think that that's exactly what the doctor ordered for 17 because he was never better than when he was under Dable. So I thought that he needed to be held accountable. Now that doesn't mean that Joe Brady will not hold him accountable, but I think
Mhm.
there's a different level when you're talking about age gap and different things like that. I mean, they're close in age. That's why I didn't want Davis Webb, his groomsmen. Like that was a ridiculous idea to me. Do not hire one of his groomsmen because you're going to have a tough time keeping him held accountable when you're that close to the situation. So we'll see. I think that they were scared off by some of the antics from Brian Dable. Maybe not thinking that he's grown enough since his time in New
Yeah.
York. And that's just an
There.
opinion. But I was not scared of it. But it
The
is what it
emotions
is.
are good so long as you're winning.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So
Exactly. That
long
is
as you,
exactly
and when
right.
you're not winning, you become Rex Ryan.
You become Rex Ryan, you become a distraction, all of those different types of things. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
right.
for sure. So defense, what do you want to see?
You better get it like you now you're hitting it on the head. I'm not saying that you're not hitting on the head. They need a vet. They need
Yeah.
an old vet. They need an old
Perfect.
dog to come on in and help out on that side of the ball.
Lou
Do not bring back
Yeah.
Bobby Babbage. Don't
Oh
you know
my
what I mean?
God.
Don't do nothing like that. Bring in a vet who's done it before. He's called plays. He knows what's going on, and
Mhm.
he has a defensive scheme that he wants to employ. He already knows
Yeah.
what he wants. He's sure of himself. Find a way to get one of those veteran defensive guys to come on in and help out because they gonna need
Yeah.
it now. All hands on deck.
Yeah. 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 I think, yeah, honestly, and I'll be the first to say it, man. I actually think Joe Brady gonna surprise you. I think he's gonna
Okay,
surprise you.
mark it
I'm
down.
put yeah.
Mark it
I
down.
haven't came out with this kind because I was a Brian Dable, man. I wanted Dable to come in.
Me too.
He had all of that experience. His offense is his. Really, the offense that Joe Brady inherited from Ken Dorsey and Brian Dable wasn't his. It was like a Brian Dable, Ken Dorsey, Joe Brady
He was
kind
he
of
was yeah he was
fusion.
doing triage when he first came in the middle
Mhm.
of the year. That
Yeah,
season,
yeah,
yeah, he was performing triage. He was trying to stop the bleeding. But then we saw last year that he ran the offense he wanted to run, or so
yeah,
we can assume. So hopefully now we need to assume that he was running McDermott's offense, or we're in for it. We do not need to be the run heaviest team in the league. I'm sorry, we don't.
let me get your comments, man. Sean McDermott, Larry Jerry Hughes, man. What did you think about those comments, bro? I know
I
you got to
loved
get
it.
back to
I
work.
mean, I loved it.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
been saying this since 13 seconds. Get the man out of here. That was a fireable offense back then. So it took Terry, 4 more years just to wake up and smell the roses on it. But yeah, I mean, he deserved to be gone after 13 seconds. This whole petition thing was crazy. I'm seeing how the Bills Mafia was coping was crazy. We talked about it. We had a great episode last Friday, me and DT on Nickel City
yeah,
Crew. So we talked about it all, man. It was all coping mechanisms. So, you know, Jerry Hughes is just stirring things up a little bit, and I like that. But you know what I mean. It was time. It was past time. Everybody should let that go. This is just a little bit of a shock. I'm shocked, man. I am shocked that I mean, they unscrewed his nameplate and put Joe Brady's on in the same office. They don't even got to move nothing. They just said, listen, we're just going to put you can stay right here in your office and we're going to put head coach on your door.
Yeah, don't
It's
go to
wild to me.
yo.
That's
As I
wild.
said, man, you said wait on Kubiak, but you can't interview him for another 2 weeks,
Yeah, I
and
don't think
Joe
they
Brady
wanted to
taking
wait. She,
interviews.
I don't think they
Yeah.
wanted to wait. I don't think they were comfortable waiting that long. I really don't think they were comfortable. And then staffs have to be filled.
Mhm.
Other coaches are. There's only three head coaching positions left: us, Vegas, and Arizona. So I don't think that they wanted to wait. To be honest
Mhm.
with you, and it looks like Kubiak's got a great offense.
Mhm.
Maybe they didn't see as much of a difference between what Joe Brady wants to employ
Mhm.
and what Kubiak already does, where they just didn't think it was worth it to wait anymore. This is
Yeah, I can't
wild,
wait to the
man.
press
It's
conference,
wild.
man. Yeah, so the Bills over the last 3 weeks has been the headline in NFL. Fire Sean
Yeah.
McDermott, surprise. Hire Joe Brady, shocking everybody. Pagula crashing out. It's wild,
Crashing out.
man.
Yep, calling out Keon Coleman and all this other crazy shit. Yep, it's been wild. It's been a wild 2 weeks for the Mafia. But now, like you said, the dust gets a chance to settle. We'll see what he has to say. I hope that somebody in that press conference asks him about his offensive philosophy. What does he view as staples of his offense? I want to hear that. I really do. And Josh
Yeah.
Allen better be right in the front row, nodding his head and clapping like they do with those press conferences where the players show up. Well, Josh Allen better be in the front row, ready to stump for his guy, because this is on Josh too, and not it doesn't have to be negative, like you said, but this is on Josh too. He picked this.
This was definitely a Josh Allen pick, man, because this is
Hell
the
yeah,
only way I
hell
see
yeah.
Joe Brady being selected over Brian Dable. If Pagula and Bean asked him, like, who you want, Dable or Joe Brady? And I think Josh is closer to Joe Brady's age than Brian Dable. And well, I think I know he's close with Brian Dable. I just think he's like, you just let's go with Joe. Maybe he's a little nervous of some change. You know what I mean? So, like, don't change it
Maybe
too
he was
much.
never better than under Dable, so we'll see, man. We'll see. I
Yeah.
just wanted to come on here and mess with you real quick, but I
Yeah,
appreciate you.
get your
Shout out
thoughts together, man.
my
We might
files,
have to
man.
do it a little bit later. I had to jump on live. You know how they say, man. You gotta strike while the iron's hot.
Iron's
So I
hot,
had
man.
to.
I ain't mad at you, man. I ain't mad
I'm
at
at
you,
work, but I was like, let me get on here and talk to the mob. Just give my initial
man.
thoughts about this.
Love the Mod Files, love Sheep. Shout out. Appreciate you, man, making some space for me, man. And go ahead and have a great show. Have a great
Nickel
rest of the
City
week.
Crew.
Yeah, check Nickel City Crew out Friday. We're gonna have some shit to say. We're gonna have some shit to say.
Hey, bro. That was my man, Mr. Rob Crippen himself. Mr. Rob Crippen himself. Let me see. There it is. We back. Joe Brady, new head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Can you believe it? I think we're only a week and a half in, and the Buffalo Bills have made a decision that Joe Brady, age 36, is the man who will lead Josh Allen through his prime, who they believe, they believe can get this team over the hump. Joe Brady is the new head coach of the Buffalo Bills. I'm shocked, but I'm optimistic. I think Joe's going to do a good job. Is he what Buffalo needs? That new energy. He's 36 years old. He's going to come in. People, according to Rob, he hoped that was Sean McDermott's influence on the offense. I do think that Sean did have some influence on the offense, but I would say 80% of it was probably Joe Brady. It just needs to evolve. I want it'd be interesting to see who he brings in as an offensive coordinator. Who does Joe Brady bring in as an offensive coordinator? That's going to give us an indication of how this offense is going to evolve. Will Joe Brady call plays? Will it be an offensive coordinator calling plays? What kind of head coach will Joe Brady be? Is the question. How what kind of defensive coordinator? You got to get rid of Bobby Babbage. If you keep Bobby Babbage, I think everybody's going to be depressed. So I do think Bobby Babbage is going to get let go. I know he's under contract like the rest of the coaches, but I think Joe Brady brings in a veteran defensive coach. I would bring in a defensive coach who used to be a head coach. I would bring in someone like Sean brought in Leslie Frazier, someone to teach me how to be a head coach, quietly teaching me how to mentor me into being an NFL head coach. This is a new experience for him. I like what the Bills is doing. You got energy such as your boy Ben Johnson out in Chicago, young, new. That's the way the league is trending. Younger coaches, offensive coaches. Joe Brady hot. The Bills didn't want to wait. They had to get it done. They got it done. They said, "Hey, we got the man in house. We're not gonna let him walk out the door." Changed the nameplate. Joe Brady leading the Bills into the new Highmark Stadium come 2026. I like the energy. I like the energy. Let's take a quick intermission here. I like the energy Joe Brady's bringing in. This is why I'm gonna celebrate this. Of course, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions. They're gonna get a massive win. They're gonna get a massive win. Yo, y'all get the real Buffalo Bills, man. All these guys, all these other players, is that when y'all need to watch. If they're not gonna be fired. Here's the Gula scared. They wrong. I'm the one. I'm the 1,000. Okay. You got 1,000 on the mound foul. And I go ahead and make the big one. Joe Brady's gonna be good. I think he's going to be good, man. I just think I think it's going to take some time. You might get it done in the first year if you get the right defense coordinator and Bean flip that roster the way he's supposed to. You never know. The Patriots got there. Oh my God, I can't believe it. But today's NFL doesn't take long. It don't take 4 years. You don't need 4 years to get it done. A lot of things to be done today. Yeah, we kind of celebrating Joe Brady as the head coach of Buffalo Bills new interview. Shout out Brady today. I like it. I like it a lot, man. If that offense evolve, you bring in a veteran offensive coordinator, learn, evolve the offense more complete. Things you gotta learn from the offensive perspective as well. But I think if he changes his philosophy just a little bit slightly, I think they can get it done. I really like it. Bringing a veteran defensive coach, let him do his thing. Don't be like Sean McDermott and try to hold the keys to all the doors. Don't be the gatekeeper, man. Let these coaches do their thing. I think Joe Brady's gonna be fine. The people are mad out there, boy. The people are mad. I'm mad. It's a good move. People wanted to change from McDermott. What the people are mad about, they don't think it's a big enough change. Like this is one of McDermott's disciples, in that McDermott, they still can feel McDermott's presence. But actually, I don't. I think Joe Brady can shake off the Sean McDermott vibe. as much as we like Sean McDermott and what he done in the past, we're tired of that Sean McDermott vibe. And I really think that before long, Joe Brady will be able to shake off that John McDermott vibe. He's his own man. I like the way he communicates. I like what he does from a leadership perspective. I do think there's some inexperienced questions that's there for me that I want to see Joe Brady answer. I think he will. Um, I think he will. Damn, I was just news today. Tennessee Titans lead the NFL with $101 million in cap space. Woo. Shit, the Bills got like -3 in cap space, FYI. But I like that Joe Brady selection. Um, hey man, it's the Mob Files. I just wanted to connect with y'all to show y'all that I mean business. We're gonna be here all year. We're gonna be here all through 2026. So if y'all tired of listening to the old guard, we ain't telling y'all none y'all want to know who's don't want to change. Tune into the Mob Files, man. All right. Let me get some music going here, man. And then we get some music going and then we're gonna outro this. We're gonna outro this because we've been on a while. 37 minutes. Y'all got my thought. I like it. My cup of Joe. You guys gotta see the bright side, man. I like it. Mark this day down when everybody's upset the big Joe Brady is high. That boy is the Vincent Body. Everybody gonna be celebrating. Yo, they're gonna be celebrating that boy get a Vince Lombardi up. Just remember them days. It's not everything. It's not always the thing that makes sense. That's the right thing to do. I think they got the right guy.